The slap rang through the restaurant like a gunshot. Every conversation stopped. Dozens of phones lifted to record. For a split second, I thought my life was over. But what they didn't know was that my brother was watching from the shadows. And when a billionaire protects a sister, even the most powerful woman becomes powerless. I'm Harper Sterling. And 6 months ago, I made a choice that changed everything. I walked away from my family's fortune, their expectations, and the privilege of being a Sterling. My brother, Daniel, controlled half the tech industry, but I did want to be Daniel Sterling's little sister. I wanted to be me. So I got a job as a waitress at Elite Grand Restaurant, one of the city's most exclusive dining spots. The irony? My family had probably eaten there more times than I had. But I needed to learn who I was without the safety net. Only my manager, Mr. Peterson, knew my real name. I made him promise to keep it secret. Most days, I enjoyed it, the rhythm, the people, the satisfaction of earning every dollar myself. But that Tuesday, I should have known the moment I clocked in that something was off. Whispers ran through the staff like electricity. Madison Blake was coming. Everyone in the restaurant industry knew her name. Owner of luxury boutiques, permanent fixture of gossip columns, and infamous for her cruelty. She could make or break reputations with a single post. Her entourage, Sophia and Amber, were just as venomous, the kind of women who treated waiters like furniture. When she entered at exactly noon, conversation stopped. She was everything money could buy. Platinum hair, flawless skin, a designer dress that probably cost more than a year's rent. Her smile was practiced perfection, her eyes ice cold. They took the table dead center of the dining room. Of course, I approached with water and menus. Finally, Madison sighed without looking up from her phone. I was beginning to think this place forgot what service means. I smiled politely. Good afternoon, ladies. I'm Harper, and I'll be serving you today. Would you like to start with any drinks? Sophia laughed, sharp and cruel. Harper? That's such a dog name. The word stung, but I held my smile. Would you like to hear our specials? Madison finally looked up. What I'd like is for you to stop talking. Bring 3 glasses of your most expensive champagne. Don't hover. I nodded, turned away, and felt their laughter behind me. Back in the kitchen, I exhaled, steadying myself. Every job has people like her, I reminded myself, but I underestimated just how vicious Madison Blake could be. When I returned with her champagne, she began tearing everything apart. The glass too warm, the bubbles too flat, the napkin fold unprofessional. Her voice rose with each complaint until the entire restaurant could hear. This is what's wrong with your generation, she declared loudly, addressing the room as if hosting a seminar. No work ethic, no pride. They think showing up is enough. Amber chimed in, totally. In our day, people actually cared about their jobs. Their day, they were maybe 30. The lunch crowd was in full swing. Executives, socialites, tourists, everyone who mattered. Madison's voice grew sharper, slicing through the hum of conversation. Look at her, she said, gesturing toward me like I was invisible. Probably thinks she deserves better. Let me tell you, honey, this is exactly where you belong. My hands trembled, but my voice stayed even. Ma'am, if there's anything I can do to improve. What you can do, she cut in, rising to her feet, is learn some respect. Do you even know who I am? The room froze. Phones tilted up, cameras blinking red. I understand you're upset. I tried softly. I can get the manager. That's when it happened. The slap cracked across my face, so hard my head snapped sideways. Gasps filled the air. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. My cheek burned, eyes stung, the metallic taste of blood blooming on my tongue. Know your place, Madison hissed. You're nothing. Don't you forget it. The silence was absolute. 200 people staring, recording. Sophia and Amber clapped like it was a performance. Did you see her face? Sophia giggled. Priceless. Amber smirked. I stood there, humiliated, hand pressed to my cheek, too stunned to move. Mr. Peterson rushed over, but Madison was already grabbing her purse. Send the bill to my office, she snapped. And next time, train your staff." Then she walked out, laughter echoing behind her. The restaurant's cameras had caught everything. Within hours, the video was online. By nightfall, millions had seen the waitress who got slapped. In my small apartment, I watched the comments flood in, half sympathy, half cruelty. Strangers called me names, others defended me. The humiliation was total. I broke down, sobbing. I had wanted independence, dignity, and instead I was a meme. Finally, I dialed a number I'd been avoiding all day. "Harper." Daniel's voice came through, tight with concern. "I've been trying to reach you. Are you okay?" The moment I heard him, the tears came harder. "Danny, I'm so sorry. I didn't want you to find out like this." "Find out what? What happened?" Through broken breaths, I told him everything. The job, the slap, the viral video. Silence followed, dangerous and cold. "She did what?" Daniel's tone dropped to that deadly calm I'd only heard in boardrooms when he was about to crush a rival. "Danny, please don't." "Did she touch you?" "I'm fine," I whispered. "I just want to go away." He exhaled slowly. "You prove you're stronger than she'll ever be. But Harper, family protects family. Always." Something in his voice made me shiver. "What are you going to do?" "I'm going to make sure Madison Blake remembers this day for the rest of her life. Get some rest, little sister. Tomorrow's going to be interesting." Then he hung up. For 3 days, I heard nothing. That silence was my warning. Daniel never went quiet unless he was planning something big. The internet moved on, new scandals replacing mine, and I thought maybe the storm had passed. Then Thursday morning came. A call from an unknown number. "Miss Sterling? This is James Wong from Premier Investments. We'd like to discuss a potential business opportunity over lunch at Elite Grand." My stomach dropped. What kind of opportunity? It's best discussed in person. 1 o'clock. Something told me Daniel was behind this. At 1, I walked into the same restaurant where everything had fallen apart. Whispers rippled through the staff as I passed. This time in a tailored dress instead of a uniform. Mr. Peterson led me to a private dining room. Inside sat a man in an impeccable suit. He stood and smiled. "Miss Sterling, James Wong, thank you for coming." Before I could respond, a familiar voice came from behind me. "Hello, little sister." I turned. Daniel stood there, calm, composed, dangerous. "Danny, what are you doing here?" "Protecting my family," he said simply. James nodded and slipped out, leaving us alone. "Define protecting," I said warily. Daniel smiled, eyes glinting. "Is it protecting to make sure a bully faces consequences? To ensure she never hurts anyone again? What did you do?" He slid his phone across the table. On the screen, a dossier thicker than a legal brief. Financial records, tax evasion, sweatshop labor, blackmail, private party photos. "Madison Blake," Daniel said, "is dirtier than her diamonds." I stared at the evidence, horrified. "How did you even get this?" "I'm very good at what I do." His tone was soft, lethal. "She humiliated you. She made you bleed. Now she learns what humiliation feels like." Before I could answer, there was a knock. James returned, this time with Madison Blake herself. She swept in, radiant and confident, not yet realizing she walked straight into her reckoning. "Mr. Wong," she purred, "your invitation intrigued me. An investment partnership, was it?" "Please have a seat," James said. "My associate will explain." Daniel stood, smiling like a shark. "Miss Blake, what a pleasure to meet you." Her smile faltered when she heard his name. "Mr. Sterling?" "The Daniel Sterling." "The very same," he said smoothly. "Please sit. You'll find this enlightening." Her gaze flicked toward me. "I'm sorry," she said slowly, frowning. "Do I know you?" Daniel's grin widened. "Let me introduce my sister, Harper Sterling." The blood drained from her face. As the night deepened, laughter rippled through the ballroom. Champagne glasses clinked, and whispers followed every step Emma took. She wasn't just beautiful, she was magnetic. Even the bride's friends who initially sneered at her were now trying to include her in their conversations. Meanwhile, Ryan couldn't stop watching her. At one point, the band started playing a slow, romantic tune. Emma leaned toward Ryan with a teasing glint in her eyes. "Dance with me," she whispered. He hesitated. "I don't dance." She smiled knowingly. "You hired me to play the part, didn't you? Let's sell it." The next second, she pulled him toward the dance floor. All eyes turned to them as they moved effortlessly together, her hand on his chest, his arms circling her waist. The chemistry between them wasn't fake anymore. It burned too bright, too real. Every step, every look, every touch screamed connection. Ryan could feel his heart racing. This was supposed to be an act, a performance to make his ex jealous. But somewhere between her laughter and the way she looked at him like he was more than a broken memory, he lost track of what was real. Across the room, Lily watched them, her perfect smile faltering. Her fiancé leaned in to say something, but she didn't hear a word. Ryan was supposed to be miserable without her. Instead, he looked happier than ever. When the song ended, applause filled the room. Emma curtsied playfully, and Ryan couldn't help but grin. "You really are something," he murmured. "Something you didn't expect?" she teased. "Something I didn't know I needed," he admitted before he could stop himself. The evening continued with toast and laughter, but the tension between Ryan and Emma only grew. When he slipped away to get fresh air, she followed him onto the terrace. The night sky sparkled above them, city lights stretching endlessly below. "You know," she said softly, "for a fake date, this feels real." Ryan turned to her, searching her face. "Maybe it doesn't have to be fake anymore." She blinked, unsure she'd heard him right. "You mean?" Before she could finish, Lily appeared at the doorway, her expression sharp. "Ryan," she called, her voice honey but cold. "Can we talk?" Emma took a step back, letting him go, but Ryan didn't move. "There's nothing left to say, Lily," he said simply. "You made your choice." Lily's jaw tightened. "You're making a scene." He smiled faintly. "No, I'm finally done pretending to care what you think." Emma turned to leave, not wanting to intrude, but Ryan reached out